So here is another weird little plane continuing in a bit of a theme. This one, for once, I didn't buy from a swap meet. I actually bought it from Paris Junction Hobbies, my local hobby store. They don't normally sell oddball, sort of used odds and ends, but in this case they were doing. It's another Flyzone plane, so we need to plug an AnyLink into the... oh, okay. Cuts on anyway, it's a minute plane, but anyway, can't expect automated voices to be reasonable. They just do what they want. The wing is is prone to falling off. It just seems to be held on by some tacky glue, but if you press it down, it seems to stay on. It's a little 3-channel plane. I'd never heard of it. It's a, some sort of slightly older Flyzone little 3-channel indoor flyer thing. Of course, we're not indoors now, but there's no wind. It's a sort of... Yes, and its rudder does that. So, given that its rudder is prone to doing that, you'd figure there's obviously something wrong with its servo, and you wouldn't think it would fly, and maybe it won't. But when I've tried it in the past, it in fact has, despite the fact its wing is prone to falling off, and its rudder twitches all over the place. See, there's a spider web right across there. We'll see, I can't promise, but I flew it indoors over the winter at the community centre, and it seemed to fly then. So we'll see. I think that's these. Interestingly enough, these older Flyzone things seem to be built like that. You've got to run the throttle up to full and then back down again to arm the ESC before they will do anything. That seems to be kind of a rule with these Flyzone things. There you go. Oddly enough, and he's actually got a little bit of power there. Certainly is a suitable indoor flyer. I mean, you can absolutely fly him indoors indeed. I mean, obviously not in your living room, not unless you live in a palatial house of some sort, but in a community centre or a gym or whatever, that's probably more his expected environment, really. This is one reason I like to come out. I mean, people wonder why I get up at dawn and whatever, but oops, it's a little over-enthusiastic there. But, that's why I do, because it's, if you come out, if you get up at dawn and come out for the sunrise, you stand a fairly good chance. I think he probably could do a little down trim. He's flying over, he's wandering up a little bit. You actually stand a pretty good chance of getting no wind conditions outdoors. You don't get no wind conditions outdoors in the middle of the day very much, to say nothing of the fact it gets warmer in the middle of the day than I like. I mean, it's possibly a little cooler than I would like at the moment, but once the sun gets out a bit, it'll warm up fairly quickly. There's still quite a bit of warmth in the sun at the moment in August. Not going to do much else with him, of course, One of these days, as I said, the wing really does. The wing hadn't fallen off today. Half of the time when I open the box with this guy, the wing has fallen off. It's always been prone to falling off since I got him. It just seems to have some sort of tacky glue on the bottom. But it seems like if you press it down, it holds on well enough for him to fly. I suppose you could say this is sort of a little bit like a Flyzone equivalent to the old Champ, not the new Champ S, which is much more advanced and, 4-channel and two cell and GPS features and everything. With new Champ S is an excellent first plane, but the old little 1-cell brushed 3-channel Champ was a very popular starter plane before there were quite so many more sophisticated options than this, I suppose. But this, I'm pretty sure this never had the popularity, because I mean, like, you see the old little yellow Champs everywhere, and they still sell them, I believe, even though they have the new Champ, and you see them everywhere there. Whereas this you do not see everywhere. I've hardly ever seen this anywhere. When I ran across it, I don't think I'd ever heard of it before. Flyzone Playmate. Not going to do anything much, of course, but land it without flying it into a fence or anything there. Oh, there you go. We actually managed to make it stop without tipping over. But the only way you can land these little tiny things on the grass without them tipping over is to bring them almost to a stop before you drop them in the grass, because if they've got any degree of forward... see, there's the sun. It's quite a bit above the horizon, but it's just struggling up from amongst clouds and mist and things. If these sort of little things have got any sort of forward momentum as they hit the ground with little wheels like that, they're going to tip over. But if you can drop them where they've got almost no momentum by the time they drop, then you can keep them upright. Flyzone Playmate.